Wow, here we are the last day, folks. Congratulations. We made it up the hill. Big hand for everybody. Thank you. All right, have fun out there.
Welcome to Driggs, Idaho for the 7th and final stage of the Pedigree Stage Stop race. It's been a fun time, 7 days of racing, 8 days overall for this. We've seen everything out here, it seems like, this year as far as weather changes and terrain.
Pretty much. I mean, it began with a lot of snow. Some fans not even making it to Jackson. Then we had 30 below, we had a canceled stage, and we had sunny and warm. I would say it covers pretty much every condition.
And we go through all these beautiful communities in western Wyoming and eastern Idaho, some of the prettiest country in the West, and these communities welcome all the mushers and support crew. It's been a really fun experience being out here on the trail, seeing this race.
You know, the Stage Stop race is hosted by 8 different communities here in western Wyoming and now in eastern Idaho. And that relationship that we have with these communities is very important to us. And we think we can bring some value to the communities, you know, through our education program with our lead teacher, where we're able to bring curriculum into the classroom that's, you know, centered around the race, the musher presentations that the mushers do at the various schools, and it builds that relationship. I mean, we're at the point now after 28 years where, you know, we have parents bringing their kids out to the race or who have had their presentation provided to their child in the classroom where they also had that same experience when they were kids. So we're multi-generational now, and we've really become a part of the fabric of the western Wyoming sort of winter landscape.
This is when the competition comes down to the last day for making any adjustments in places, whether it's from 9th to 10th or 1st to 2nd. They got to do it today after 7 days of racing.
Yeah, I just walked by Sarah Talton and she was like, yes, I got my 8th place back. Because those teams were really close between 8s and 10s, and she had a good run today.
I got them back from yesterday. Yay, I know, thank you.
So you're out on the trail with them today here in Driggs, and for fans, just describe briefly the trail and then what you saw out there with the teams on this final leg.
Well, this is a pretty good uphill leaving here right away again. The snow was actually better than we had feared with the warm temperatures. It was fairly firm. Till about mile 8, there's a lot of climbing. Then there's a couple of really fun switchbacks going down. You should have some pretty good video though. The trail up today was actually pretty nice. We made it all the way to 10.5 miles. At the beginning, the trail was much better packed than which could have been anticipated in this type of the weather. On the way to the turnaround at mile 10.5, we followed Annie Melo. All 3 of the top teams were still spread out. Cassie was ahead of Alex, and Alex was still quite a ways ahead of Annie.
So as the teams came in, I was at the finish line, and man, a lot of these teams for day 7 were still really smoking, but the really impressive thing is Annie Milo dominates again 5 times in a row. 5 times in a row in any type of dog racing. You've got people like Rick Swinson, Susan Butcher, 4-time champion. You've got the Streepers at the North American. Annie comes in here, 5th win. That's really hard to pull off. You can't make any mistakes.
No, and when you also looked at how her team looked here at the finishing line, that was nothing short but impressive. When we were talking to her, they were harness banging, raring to do more. I mean, that says it all right there.
Yeah, that's really an impressive team, and you know, she told us a little bit. It's a year-round thing for them. They really focus on their dogs year-round.
When we come back home, it takes like 5 days to come back home. We filled a sheet of what we have to do to get better next year. Every year, I have that sheet in my book for I don't know how many years. And if you think you're the best one and you sit on that, you're done. And that's what we do with Marco. And I would tell you, almost every year we do what we are supposed to do.
But a few other people had some pretty good runs today too.
Yeah, there was another really impressive team. That was Liz Thompson. She had the 2nd fastest time today. She will get some nice day money. But also noticeably over the last couple of days, she was inching further up front, and her team was, I would say, it stood out.
I agree. They look sweet coming in here. A lot of power, a lot of speed. It's been a great event. We've got a lot of people that made this come together. All of the sponsors, the race officials, the handlers, of course, the dogs. It's just been a great organized event. Really been fun to travel around Wyoming and Idaho here. So that's it for this year in the Stage Stop race. We had a ball being out here and covering this. We hope you enjoyed the coverage. I'm Bruce Lee.
And I'm Sebastian Schnille, and we hope to be back next year.
And as a wrap up, here's all 16 competitors talking about this race and how it went out here for the last week.
It's so amazing. I mean, the stage are just amazing. The people here are just amazing. Communities, organization. It's a huge event.
I mean, it's just, the thing I keep coming back to is like, how the heck can these dogs do this every day? Like, for this long and this many miles and this fast. And they're just unbelievable. Like, even today, it was like, we took off. Marie was kind of slow to warm up, and then they just started rolling. And the closer we got to home, the harder they were rolling. And it was just like, right on, you know, like, feels so good.
It's really different than what I used to do. I think it's a new experience. I know I drive dogs for a long time, but this is a longer run, and it's go pretty fast too. And the switchback and things like this, we can never have this in Quebec.
We love this race. Bruce has been coming here for 17 or 18 years. This is basically what we center our whole season around. So we'll go up to Alaska and Canada for the next 2 months, but this is pretty much the premier event. I love the people, first of all. I love the challenge. You know, I think a lot of people, I don't know, it's kind of in a class in its own. It's not really an open class sprint, but it's not a distance race. It's very unique, and we'll be back every year for sure.
3 of these guys ran 7 stages, 3 more ran 6 stages, 3 more ran 5 stages, and then the one old leader ran 4. Like the 10 I ran today pretty much all ran right from start to finish. Right? So I'm pretty impressed with how these guys did it.
It's really fun. It's a challenge. Every day is a different race, you know, like another chance to either have a great day or medium day, you know. But yeah, no, it's really fun. And trail conditions, that really matters for your dog team. Also care, you know, takes a village to take care of a dog team for this race.
And the trail itself and the people that run this race are great. The organization, the way they got everything set up is very professional. Even free food for us. You know, I mean, that's really a big plus. And the evening community dinners and the meeting all those people. I think the learning is managing your team properly, because you do run for 5 days in a row. So I think that's real important. Yeah, it's just all around good race.
I learned that there's a lot of good people, you know, had fun. Everybody's so friendly and nice, cheering each other on, and it doesn't really feel like competition, you know, in that way.
Well, you always have to learn something, right? If you're not learning anything, why are you doing it? Learned a lot about my dog team this year. Learned a lot about strategy this year because we were going into it thinking 5 day off and then 2, and we kind of had to readjust. We went 2 day off and then 5, so we kind of had to, you know, switch it up and kind of switch gears and figure out what we were going to do that last 5, and we figured it out. We did well. This was my 8th finish of the race, and kind of point of pride for me. We had 2 goals coming into the race: run 10 dogs every day and don't bag any dogs, and we accomplished those 2 goals. And as far as that, we accomplished those 2 goals. The chips fall wherever they're gonna do. That's what we did coming into the race. We ran our race, kept the dogs happy, kept all 14 dogs together, ran 10 dogs every day, and have a happy dog team at the end of 7 stages, and that's what it's all about.
I love how professionally it's organized. I love the views. I love how, like, I don't know, you really get to know all the other mushers because you like travel as a group and you go to all these banquets. I really enjoy the whole concept of it. It's like a really challenging race, right? Because there's not just running dogs, there's all the logistics behind it, getting from A to B, and you got the pool of dogs. So yeah, I think it's like just a very unique race. So yeah, I love a lot of things about it. I'm not sure what exactly. It's just the whole thing.
I mean, it's a format for both. Just the way it's set up with the reverse start, you know, you're not going to be holding people up. Yeah, great training. If you want to be competitive, there's competition here. It's good to see some more Canadians. Downey put on I'm sure Hope he's back, put on a really good show there. Class act, yeah, no, great race.
The last stage was, I think, it was the best one. Everybody says it's a tough one, but my dogs really like it. I really enjoy it. But it was a nice one. So overall, I think it's a tough race, but it's to handle.
This whole race is phenomenal, from the vet care to all the different terrain we see, from miles of flats to trails like this where I enjoy that are twisty, windy, and test your skill. It's quite the race.
Easier for me to say what happened for me, you know. So I haven't raced for a few years. I came here with a couple old dogs and a bunch of young dogs. Couldn't have played out better. I started this race with some older dogs leading with the young ones.
All right.
By the time I got to yesterday and the day before, I had those 2 young ones leading out of the chute. I found out who could go through this thing. So, you know, like Michael Tessner says, you come here with a fast team, but unless you're racing against some small jockey type people. So you got to lope those hills. You're going to lose a lot of your average on those hills if you can't keep going fast up those. Did that answer anything of what you were, you know, what are you going to do?
If you have any fears of race starts, you know, the pre-race anxiety, this race will cure you of it. You get a lot of good passing practice. I mean, these are all things that are valuable elsewhere.
The community is really incredible. Just the amount of support that this race gets is really, really cool, and it's the perfect race for that, right? Like, people get to come to see the start and the finish because the slowest team leads first every day. The race is really compact, so people get to see a lot of the action, and it's just like, you can tell, this is my 2nd year here, and the support, like, the same people were at Alpine yesterday with all the kids, you know, and they knew who I was, and they remembered me from last year, and right, like, that kind of attitude around the racing community is just, it's unlike any other race.